So I'm super tired, but I'm gonna make this video anyway. Hey guys, welcome to Flexgineer. My name is Jacob. I'm a mechanical engineer with a passion for bodybuilding and working out. Guy that's smart and has muscles. I know, I'm kind of a badass.
This is all muscle, so I am covered in brains, and I have more brains than you.
Being the marvelous, jacked specimen that I am, I also do personal training. So if you want to schedule a consultation with me, there's a link to and I have a link to where you can schedule a consultation with me in the description below. Anyway, in this video, I'm basically gonna be talking about whether or not you should pursue a degree in mechanical engineering. And this video is mostly gonna be geared towards probably high school students and people in college who haven't really decided on their major yet. But if you've already graduated from college and kind of want some insight into what getting a mechanical engineering degree looks like, or you kind of want to see what industry looks like after you graduate, then you should probably watch this video. So I have worked as a mechanical engineer before as an R&D intern, and right now I'm interviewing for a few entry-level jobs at a few companies. Just want to throw this out there. This isn't going to be a cute little romanticized video about how great my life is as a mechanical engineer. I don't really like making those super idealized kind of videos.
It's my life as a mechanical engineering student at ETH Zurich. That evening, I didn't really do much. I came home, I ate a salad, and then I watched Parks and Recreation.
So I really don't understand why people just can't admit that their lives sometimes suck. Mechanical engineering is actually very hard, and you probably won't have a lot of free time. Like, it's always possible that she's like a million times smarter than I am and can just do her homework that much faster. And I feel like this isn't really a good representation of what the life of a mechanical engineer really is like.
This is gonna be super real. You know, I'm gonna actually kind of show you what getting a degree in ME, what it kind of looks like, and what, more importantly, what the industry looks like after you graduate. So basically this video is just gonna be me giving my opinion on my perspective, which is based on my experience as being a mechanical engineering student and applying and interviewing for entry-level engineering positions. I think we should just define mechanical engineering as quickly and painlessly as we can. If you do a quick Google search here, the Wikipedia definition of mechanical engineering is what you see on the screen. It's mechanical engineering is an engineering discipline that combines engineering physics, mathematical principles, material science, blah, 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 blah. You know, it doesn't really give you a good idea of what you're doing as a mechanical engineer, but as a mechanical engineer, I'll just be honest with you guys, you're basically understanding how the world works at a mechanical, physical level, at a pretty deep fundamental level, and you're using that knowledge to build cool stuff. You know, like that's basically what a mechanical engineering degree is. Super broad, deep understanding of a lot of different elements of how the world works, and use that knowledge. Basically, you learn about math and physics and build cool stuff. Like that's basically the entire degree in a nutshell. Okay, to make this painless as possible, you want to skip to exactly what the industry looks like. I might put like a little link right here on the screen, but right now I'm just going to talk about why I chose mechanical engineering. So I'm going to tell you guys why I chose mechanical engineering. Maybe you're a little bit like me, but these are kind of the reasons that I chose it. So growing up, I love learning about math, science, physics, biology. I love putting things together. Like I love playing with Legos, but you know, who doesn't like playing with Legos, right? So I chose mechanical engineering because I really enjoyed learning how the world worked at a really fundamental level. I really enjoyed learning, you know, physics, math, chemistry. I wouldn't say I really excelled in those. Well, I did excel at them, but I excelled in them because I really enjoyed practicing them and learning about them. You know, I wouldn't consider myself a super innately, like ridiculously intelligent person. I would just consider myself someone who's very hardworking. So I enrolled in college and I really wanted to get a degree in some type of applied science, and that's really why engineering appealed to me. I chose mechanical engineering because it was very broad. You learn a lot about each field. You know, you take elements of EE, material science, take a lot of mechanics and materials classes, a ton of chemistry. So it contained a little taste of everything, and I got to learn a lot about a lot of different industries. So obviously there are a lot of classes that I'm not listing here, but the list that I did just put on the screen, it gives you kind of a good idea of what the curriculum for a mechanical engineering degree kind of will look like, you know? A lot of math and physics. So math, I took like Calc 1 through 4, differential equations, linear algebra. Physics, you're probably gonna take a solid year of engineering physics. Chemistry, probably a solid year of chemistry as well. I also took a solid year of biology, but like I said, I'm also super into bodybuilding, so I was also really interested in how muscles grew and tissues, you know, hierarchy of structure, muscle structure, whatever. So I really enjoyed that. We'll take a lot of fluids, thermo, and heat transfer classes. If you enjoy doing that, definitely, consider this major. Mechanics and materials, material science, EE fundamentals, manufacturing, mechanical design. Software and programming, I put those in 2 different sections here on the screen. Think of software, I kind of think of maybe like CAE or CAD, like, FEA, ANSYS, Abacus, SolidWorks and stuff like that. But when I think of programming, I think of a little bit more of MATLAB, Python, Java, because you do learn elements of programming and certain softwares when you do get an engineering degree, mechanical specifically. In the last section, you're going to learn about some vibration systems dynamics. This is probably one of the more rigorous classes you are going to take as a mechanical engineer. But if you are watching this video, you probably already have a good understanding of what the curriculum of a mechanical engineer looks like. And a lot of people, they get caught up in what they're doing, like as a 4-year degree. Like, for example, a really popular topic when you are on campus, for example, you go on dates with people on campus, like, oh, what are you majoring in? That's such a popular question, and I feel like the major that you pick in college is such an integral part of your identity, not only in college, but going forward. But the bigger question, it's not a bad mindset, like asking yourself what you should major in and stressing a lot about what you should major in, but the question you really should be asking yourself is not what should I be studying for the next 4 years, but what does life after those 4 years look like? You really have to have a big picture mindset, and that's why a lot of engineering students, they're really honed in on the class they're taking and learning what they're learning in their classes, but they really don't know, or they really don't have a big picture idea for what industry looks like after college and what applying to entry-level engineering job looks like. I'm just gonna tell you guys it's more important to have an idea of what you're gonna be doing after college than have a really good idea of what you're gonna be majoring in. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be 100% focused on picking the exact right major, right? But life after college and getting a job, that's the main reason that we enroll in college in the first place. At least it should be. You need to have an understanding of what you're doing, not of what necessarily you're going to be learning for 4 years. Although the learning part is super important, and I can't emphasize this enough, you have to enjoy what you're learning. It's just that after college is just as important or even more so. So if you get a mechanical engineering degree, these are the really popular industries that you'll probably be going into. So the first one is aerospace. So with aerospace, you have Boeing, Blue Origin, Lockheed Martin, a lot of these really big, huge aerospace companies, there's also overlap with defense as well, but I'll get into that. Second one, automotive, you go and build cars or manufacturing cars. This is a huge industry. You have Tesla, Ford. You could even work at Ferrari or Lamborghini doing manufacturing, design. We have biomedical and medicine. Some big companies would be Stryker and Gore right off the bat. Defense, again, there's overlap from aerospace and defense here. We're looking at like Boeing, Raytheon, again, Lockheed Martin. Raytheon, tons of missiles and whatnot, So next one on the list we're gonna have is construction in buildings. A lot of civil engineers go into this as well. Mechanical engineer, you can get involved in a lot of stress analysis, structures design with buildings. So I don't know a lot about construction and buildings. I'm mostly a aerospace, biomedical, and defense and energy kind of guy. So next one is gonna be power. So power is an industry, like you'd be working as a nuclear engineer. You could even be an energy auditor working for companies. Also, a lot of civil engineers work in power as well. A lot of government, local city jobs. So next one on the list is like various random companies, like various nanotech, like robotics, home good companies. For example, I interviewed for a company that was designing furnitures, interviewed as a design engineer there. All right, so now we have a good idea of kind of what sectors of industry mechanical engineers go after graduation. That's not enough information though. I think what we should take a close look at the entry-level engineering jobs. We're gonna look at some of the popular entry-level engineering jobs that are found online, that I've interviewed with, and so on and so forth. So the first one, this is kind of my sector, what area I'm really trying to get into, is design/drafting. I just want to throw this out there. Design and drafting at companies, it's sometimes at smaller companies, you're doing both design and the drafting. At really larger companies like Boeing, probably Blue Origin, these big aerospace missile companies, design and drafting is a totally separate process. A lot of people don't know this as undergraduates and as high school students. even some people who graduate with mechanical engineering degree. So basically drafting is a creative process of using some type of design program and drawing out what you're going to be making. Like, using SolidWorks, CATIA, whatever type of 3D design, 2D design software you're going to be using. Design is way more in depth than drafting. You're going to be working on the parameters of your design. Once you figure out the exact parameters, kind of what you want, maybe you're figuring out CTCs. Getting those CTCs are critical to customer. Getting those constraints figured out. Once you get all that details figured out, kind of what you want, you send it to the drafter who takes all that information and he or she designs the product. So at smaller companies, you'll be both the designer and the drafter using various 3D design tools like, CATIA, SolidWorks, Autodesk products such as Revit and AutoCAD. I've used AutoCAD and SolidWorks before. You also might use Rhino and Pro-E. Like, there's less jobs that ask for Rhino and Pro-E though. Most of the jobs ask for SolidWorks, CATIA, and like Inventor, for example. So another really popular job for entry-level mechanical engineers is manufacturing. So basically manufacturing engineer, basically someone that tries to optimize the value of a product while minimizing the cost of operations. I haven't worked a lot as a manufacturing engineer. I have interviewed for manufacturing engineering positions at this one fitness company I was super excited about, but again, due to COVID, that whole situation is still up in the air. So the next type of engineering I'm going to talk about is test/verification engineers. So these are super common at aerospace companies, like for example, Boeing. I'm just going to use Boeing a lot because I've interviewed or talked with a lot of Boeing engineers about their jobs, and they've been really helpful in giving me advice. So test engineers, basically what they do is they test procedures and they design hardware, using test procedures. They write reports. An example of what a test engineer does is, I worked briefly on this one aerospace project, but we were trying to find the drag coefficient. We're trying to find how much drag is affected by ice formation on wings. So what we did is, or at least what the team did, is they 3D printed out these ice formations and they attached it to this smaller wing and they put it in a wind tunnel. And they tried to use the information collected from that wind tunnel to see how a real wing would be affected. A real wing, like I said, is way bigger. So they'd probably use dimensional analysis to figure out exactly what that drag, how that would exactly affect the performance of the aircraft. That's just one example of test and verification. Second is quality, very similar to manufacturing, except I believe that quality is a little bit less hands-on than a manufacturing engineering role. Quality, tons of Six Sigma, lean manufacturing techniques, a lot of continuous improvement, and maybe some fault analysis on the product as well. This is actually kind of a cool and fun job, and it's like pretty chill from what I hear. So this next entry-level job I'm going to talk about is super common in the biomedical industry. So it's an R&D engineering position. This was kind of my internship I had. It was basically R&D role. I was told you do everything as an R&D engineer, especially at a smaller company. You don't only design stuff, you 3D print stuff, you prototype stuff, but you're also reaching out to suppliers as well, trying to figure out the exact specifications or material properties of maybe their products, see if it'll work with your system. You have to really have a really deep clinical understanding of the need that you're trying to meet with your design. What's also annoying about R&D engineer is that because you're working at the, I wouldn't say like cutting edge, but because you're working on a super new product, those requirements for what that product has to do, like they're gonna change. It's iterative, right? It's very, very iterative. So you might design a perfect solution that meets everything, but then your boss comes in, he's like, hey, we just decided that the customer kind of wants this one feature to be a little bit, they want this one feature to be front and center and that one not as important. So can you just redesign it and have it done by tomorrow or something like that? You're like, crap, I just spent like a week and a half like designing and integrating this properly. I think R&D engineering is way too creative for me, so that's why I really didn't want to go into R&D engineering. I'd rather go into design, manufacturing. So one of the other popular ones that a lot of companies try to hire for is sales engineering. So basically a sales engineer, someone that has a very deep technical understanding of a product and that can talk to customers. You can't be super socially awkward. You got to carry conversations, go to meetings, host dinners, maybe take clients golfing. So I put the, engineering in quotes. This isn't exactly engineering, but it does, if you are really good at it, it does have a really substantial payoff. Like some of these guys in sales engineering, you're making upwards of at least 200K a year, 250, but the work is super stressful. You know, that's one thing about being a sales engineering guy, is that it is stressful work. You're gonna have to deal with people a lot. If you went into engineering because you really didn't like dealing with people, then this job is probably not for you. So some companies hire entry-level mechanical engineers as project leads. Basically, project management, the only reason they do this is to save a few bucks. Like, they want someone who can do the job, do it well, kind of like a senior engineer, but they're gonna pay you like an entry-level guy. So if you like project management and you're good, and you wanna quickly get ahead in engineering management, maybe get an MBA, then go ahead and do project management. So I put this one last on the list because, believe it or not, there aren't a lot of companies that hire entry-level like stress engineers. So basically, this is super prevalent, at least stress is super prevalent in all industries, but especially in aerospace. So this requires a really strong understanding of mechanics of materials and a really solid grasp on some type of finite element modeling software, such as, you know, ANSYS, Abacus, or COMSOL. So in order to do this job, you have to manipulate and work with a crap tons of data without going crazy. So if you like working, you know, kind of by yourself in a corner on your computer, analyzing tons of data, kind of zoning out, playing music, you know, working on stress stuff, then this job is probably ideal for you. So I interviewed or, you know, talked with a stress engineer at Blue Origin. This guy is like ridiculously smart, tons of experience in the field, not only at Boeing, but like I said, at Blue Origin. And basically what he does is he uses finite element software to check the sizing of the parts that the design engineers send over. So the design engineers, they design the specific bolts and parts and configurations, and he takes those designs and puts those, you know, models into his finite element software, and he checks and looks for stress concentrations. It's actually kind of a cool job. But yeah, anyway, this job is usually for engineers with at least 1 year plus of industry knowledge under their belt, or a lot of undergrad experience in working in labs that utilize stress strain analysis or, you know, FEA, some type of finite element software. All right, so we kind of want to wrap up this video. So basically, we looked at the industries that you're probably going to be going into. We also had an in-depth look at some entry-level engineering jobs. If any of those entry-level engineering jobs appeal to you, then I'd probably choose mechanical engineering. But if you're repulsed by every single one, I might reconsider choosing mechanical engineering as a major. However, if you're entirely sure you want to do engineering, but you're not entirely sure which one to pick, then obviously you want to pick mechanical engineering as it is the most broad. For example, you can work in civil engineering as a mechanical engineer, but the transition to mechanical engineering from civil is going to be a little bit harder. Personally, if I had to do it all over again, I would probably pick mechanical engineering because there's no other degree out there where you learn so much about how the world works. Like, you learn basic electricity, magnetism, you learn how turbines work, you learn how, like, all these appliances, the world around you, you learn how it all kind of works, and you learn how to apply that knowledge. So it is honestly such an amazing degree to get. But if I had to do it all over again, I'd be tempted maybe to double major in business and computer science. Currently, I'm studying Java and Python. I'm really enjoying it. So maybe computer science and business. Anyway, guys, I hope this video helped you. I kind of wish I watched a video like this before I majored in mechanical engineering, so I had a bigger picture idea of what the most popular entry-level engineering positions are. But I'm making this now, so hopefully, you know, a few people can watch this and it can help impact their career decision in some type of way or another. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope it gave you a better insight into not only what a mechanical engineering major, what they kind of study, but I hope it gave you better insight into what engineering life looked like after college. Obviously, we want to learn and enrich our minds, of course, but we're in college to get a degree to make money. Also, if you guys liked seeing me make a video on engineering, please leave a comment below, let me know. If you have any future ideas for future videos, leave a comment and please give me feedback. I appreciate that. So I think this is about it for this video. Stay healthy, guys, and be creative.